What if I told you there's a proven strategy to get 250K or even more in business funding, all at 0% interest without needing a 2-year-old business or proof of income or revenue? Well, my clients and I use this strategy to get unlimited 0% business credit. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can too. Now, the problem is most business owners believe funding is a linear game. They apply for one card, get a small limit, then get hit with a wall. They think their income or their time in business is the only thing that matters, completely capping their borrowing capacity before they even get started. And this is an advanced strategy, but in this video, I'm going to break it down for you step by step. The fundamental difference between personal credit and business credit and why this separation is the key to unlocking massive funding, the credit stacking strategy on how to strategically apply for multiple business credit cards in a specific sequence to get approved for huge limits, and a real-world example of how two business owners with the exact same personal credit profile can have drastically different funding outcomes, where one gets 20K, but the other gets 250K. If you're new to the channel, my name is Colin Matthew, and I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad when I was just 13 years old and became obsessed with credit and finance. I even followed in Robert Kiyosaki's footsteps and enlisted in the Marine Corps at 18 straight out of high school. And that's where I witnessed firsthand what Rich Dad's book said, that they don't teach financial education in schools because the Marines to my left and right were defaulting on cars and credit cards. So I got certified in credit repair to fix their credit, and now I run an 8-figure credit repair and funding business. And I make these videos to help guys like you fix your credit and access capital and turn it into cash flow. So let's get into it. The first thing you must absolutely understand is the foundational wall between your personal and your business financial worlds. Let's talk about separating your personal and your business credit. Before you can build the skyscraper of funding, you need to pour the right foundation. And for us, that foundation is the legal and financial separation of you from your business. Now let's imagine there's two entrepreneurs, Cletus and Colin. Cletus is a mouth breather. He applies for funding with zero strategy, just vibes. Colin, on the other hand, commands hundreds of thousands of dollars in credit approvals, all whilst breathing through his nostrils, like a calm, disciplined millionaire warrior monk with a six-pack. Cletus has a shiny new LLC and a 750 FICO score. So he thinks, that's all I need, baby. It's time to get rich. So what does he do? He packs a lip full of chew and heads into the first bank he sees on his way to his favorite bar. And he fires off a business credit card application randomly with no plan, no sequence, nada. And the banks look at him and they say, well, your personal credit looks pretty good, so here's 20K. And Cletus is hyped. He's already letting those intrusive thoughts take over. He's thinking about getting that scat pack. But here's the problem. When Cletus immediately goes for round 2 and another application, he applies at a jealous girlfriend inquiry-sensitive bank, and they're watching his every move. They see that fresh inquiry from the first application, and they raise an eyebrow and they say, whoa there, dude. Why are you so desperate for cash already? You just got approved. Boom, denied. Now Cletus has 2 hard inquiries, 1 approval, and a bruised ego. And he's trying again with a third bank. Boom, denied. 4th bank, boom, denied, right? He's stuck at 20K in funding. And it's not terrible, right? Who's going to complain about 20 grand? But it's not great. And so Cletus, rightfully so, is frustrated, and he's muttering to himself, you see, that daggone credit is a scam. I knew this stuff doesn't work. Right, but Colin, on the other hand, let's take a look at him. He understands the system. He knows this isn't a game of chance, it's a game of sequence. And so Colin starts with the jealous girlfriend banks like Chase and US Bank, the ones that are inquiry sensitive. They get nervous if they see too many hard inquiries, and he locks those approvals down first. He applies with the Chase Business Relationship Manager. Boom, 2 $50,000 approvals. Applies with the US Bank BRM with comparable processing statements. Boom, 25K approval. Boom, 25K second approval, right? And then once he's in the clear, he moves on to the chill banks, the banks that are chill like that, the ones that don't care if he just got approved elsewhere, right? Amex, boom, 2 25K approvals, Blue Cash, Blue Plus. Wells Fargo, boom, 25K approved. And here's where the magic happens. When a business card inquiry hits your personal report, the inquiry shows up, but the new business account itself doesn't report to your personal credit, except outliers like Capital One, Discover, or TD Bank. So those inquiries can be scrubbed. And once you scrub them, it's like it never happened. And your personal report stays squeaky clean. The result? Cletus is stuck at 20K mouth breathing approvals, but Colin sequences and stacks until he's sitting on 250K in 0% business credit. He's now got the ammo he needs to buy real estate, launch a business, buy a business, and build wealth, all without touching a dime of his own savings. And when you see titles like this, unlock unlimited business credit at 0% interest, that's not clickbait. That's exactly what Colin just did. So the question is, who are you going to be? Cletus, the mouth breather, stuck at 20K, crying about how banks are evil and life is unfair? Or Colin, the intelligent investor who employs a strategy and leverage and uses OPM to build freedom for himself and his family? Because at the end of the day, this game is about working smarter, not harder. Now, this invisibility loophole is what we're going to exploit. Now that you understand why this works, let me show you how to put it into practice with a strategy called credit stacking. So the goal of credit stacking is to apply for multiple business credit cards, ideally in a short window called a round of funding. This is ideally under 30 to 60 days or so before the accounts begin to report to your business credit reports. Now the secret, not all banks pull from the same credit bureau. Some use Experian, some use TransUnion, and some use Equifax. And by planning your applications based on which bank uses what bureau, we can ensure each bank sees a fresh credit report with minimal to no hard inquiries. Building your sequence works in 3 steps. Step A, you're going to target your lenders. Make a list of business credit cards you want to get, like the Chase Ink card, Amex Gold, Bank of America, etc. Step B, research the bureaus they pull from. Use data points from My FICO Forms or Credit Pulls database, but make sure you get it from reputable sources like yours truly. A lot of these guys have no freaking clue what the heck they're talking about. Feel free to use our own data to determine which bureau each bank is going to pull. Now, step C, order your applications. You'll apply to one bank that pulls from Experian, then one that pulls TransUnion, then one that pulls Equifax, all within a 30-day window or so. This spreads these inquiries out. Now, this sounds great in theory, but what does it look like in the real world? Let's go back to the example with Colin and build out his 250K round step by step, and I'll show you the biggest limitation that you need to watch out for. Now that Colin knows the strategy, he's ready to execute. This is how he turns a 750 FICO score into massive amounts of zero interest capital. Application 1, he's shooting for Experian. Starts with a Chase Ink card. They're known for being very inquiry sensitive. They're the #1 bank in the country, and they primarily pull Experian. He gets approved for 2 business credit cards, zero interest, $50,000 each through a relationship manager, totaling $100K in funding. Application 2, we're going to shoot for TransUnion, and we immediately apply with Bank of America. We apply with 3 business credit cards, and they often pull TransUnion. And the Chase inquiry hasn't shown up here yet, and I'm approved for 3 credit cards totaling $40,000. Application 3, we're going to look for an Equifax lender, and we move on to a lender like Citizens Bank on the East Coast. They favor Equifax. Again, a clean report. They don't see Chase or B of A's inquiries, and boom, we're approved for a $50,000 0% card. And we can rinse and repeat. We continue this pattern, hitting multiple banks, and by the end of the day, we have 7 to 9 applications approving total $250,000 or more, all at 0% interest for 9 to 18 months. Now, this is where people get excited and think it's a magic trick, but there's a major hurdle you must overcome in order for this to work, and that's your personal credit profile. And here's why. The banks are approving you based solely on the strength of your personal credit at the moment. Your business is new, it has no history, your personal credit is everything. And there's a perfect credit profile for stacking. You're going to want to have a 750 plus FICO score. That's the target. Utilization on your personal credit card balances must be below 9% of your total limits. If you have $50K in limits, your total balance should be below $5,000. This shows that you're not reliant on debt. Inquiries, you should have fewer than 3 hard inquiries on your report in the last 6 months. This is why we do it all at once. Derogatory marks, 0 late pays, collections, or charge-offs. Your history must be clean. Otherwise, sign up for credit repair. Link in the description and pinned comment. If your personal credit utilization is high, like 50% or more, or you have recent late payments, the strategy can fail. The banks will see you as a risk and you'll get denied. You cannot execute an advanced funding strategy on a weak foundation. Now, here's a secret tip that can double your approvals and the real trick to getting unlimited business credit. Start your sequence with any soft pull business credit card applications, and when you're approved, use those funds to deposit into each business checking account in your sequence at the time of application. An example, if I get a $35,000 soft pull business credit card, I liquidate it and deposit $30,000 into Chase. I apply for my cards, receive generous approvals. I then move that $30,000 to the next bank in my sequence, maybe Bank of America. I then apply for cards there, receive high approvals as well, rinse and repeat. And by getting access to a low-hanging fruit soft pull approval or even a personal loan at the beginning of your sequence and strategically deploying those liquid funds to season the checking accounts, you can positively influence your approval odds and your approval amounts. Now, each state has a ton of local backyard banks, and you can essentially get access to unlimited business funding by continuing to remove your hard inquiries and apply for more local banks, and even file for an entity into states nearby once you have exhausted all your local banks. Remember, these inquiries are not attached to personal accounts, which means we can challenge them with credit repair strategies and get them removed. From there, we can continue to run more local ones, file for an entity, or even fund shelf corporations. If you implement this strategy, you effectively get access to unlimited business credit. But remember, it all starts with a strong, clean personal credit profile. That is the key that unlocks this entire process. So now, even though you know how to get 6 figures in 0% funding, there's one more thing you need to master. Because if you don't, it doesn't matter how much capital you can get your hands on, you'll end up misusing it and putting your business in a worse position. So if you'd like to work with my team one-on-one to not only acquire 100,000 plus at 0%, but properly deploy that capital into cash flowing assets like real estate, Section 8, or buying businesses, links are in the pinned comment in the description. And as always, guys, be sure to like and subscribe. This is Credit with Colin, and I'll see you guys on the next one.